1-2 punch of storms threatens Thanksgiving travel in U.S.
1-2 punch of storms threaten Thanksgiving travel in U.S. 1-2 punch of storms threatens Thanksgiving travel in U.S.
Heavy snow and wind shut down highways in Colorado and Wyoming. Closed schools.
Heavy snow and wind shut down highways in Colorado and Wyoming. Heavy snow and wind shut down highways in Colorado and Wyoming.
Schools in Nebraska and forced more than 1,000 travelers to sleep overnight in Denver's airport after hundreds of flights were canceled just as Thanksgiving travel moved into high gear.
Closed schools in Nebraska and forced more than 1,000 travelers to sleep overnight in Denver's airport after hundreds of flights were canceled just as Thanksgiving travel moved into high gear. Closed school in Nebraska and forced more than 1,000 travelers to sleep overnight in Denver's airport after hundreds of flights were canceled just as Thanksgiving travel moved into high gear.
The storm was heading to South Dakota, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, while a bomb cyclone weather phenomenon began toppling trees, knocking out power, and dumping snow as it barreled into California and Oregon, making for a double whammy of early wintry weather.
The storm was heading to South Dakota, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, while a bomb cyclone weather phenomenon began toppling trees, knocking out power, and dumping snow as it barreled into California and Oregon, making for a double whammy of early wintry weather. The storm was heading to South Dakota, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, while a bomb cyclone weather phenomenon began toppling trees, knocking out power and dumping snow as it barreled into California and Oregon, making for a double whammy of early wintry weather.
Authorities on both sides of the California-Oregon border reported numerous crashes and closed roads. The national
Authorities on both sides of California-Oregon border reported numerous crashes and closed roads. Authorities on both sides of California-Oregon border reported numerous crashes and closed roads.
The National Weather Service urged people to wait to travel for the holiday until the weather improves.
The National Weather Service urged people to wait to travel for the holiday until the weather improves. The National Weather Service urged people to wait to travel for the holiday until the weather improves.
At Denver International Airport, about 10 inches, 25 centimeters of snow mixed with winds that limited visibility prompted the cancellation of about 30% of the airport's average daily 1,600 flights.
At Denver International Airport, about 10 inches, 25 centimeters of snow mixed with winds that limited visibility prompted the cancellation of about 30% of airport's average daily 1,600 flights. At Denver International Airport, about 10 inches, 25 centimeters of snow mixed with winds that limited visibility prompted the cancellation of about 30% of airport's average daily 1,600 flies.
The storm dumped nearly 3 feet, 1 meter, of snow in parts of northern Colorado and closed long stretches of highways there and in Wyoming. One person was killed and 2 others were injured when a tractor trailer jackknifed and was hit by 2 other trucks on Interstate 70 near the Colorado ski town of Vail.
The storm dumped nearly 3 feet 1 meter of snow in parts of northern Colorado and closed long stretches of highways there and in Wyoming. One person was killed and 2 others were injured when a tractor trailer jackknifed and was hit by 2 other trucks in Interstate 70 near the Colorado ski town of Vail. The storm dumped nearly 3 feet 1 meter of snow in parts of northern Colorado and closed the long stretches of highway there and in Wyoming. One person was killed and 2 others were injured when a tractor trailer jackknifed and was hit by 2 other trucks on Interstate 70 near the Colorado ski town of Vail.
Southwest Airlines canceled about 200 flights. Spokesman Brad Hawkins said it would take a couple of days to get stranded passengers on other flights because there are few during the pre-Thanksgiving travel crush. That makes it hard for airlines to rebook passengers.
Southwest Airlines canceled about 200 flights. Spokesman Brad Hawkins said it would take a couple of days to get stranded passengers on other flights because there are few during the pre-Thanksgiving travel crush. That makes it hard for airlines to rebook passengers. Southwest Airlines canceled about 200 flights. Spokesman Brad Hawkins said it would take a couple of days to get stranded passengers on other flights because there are few during the pre-Thanksgiving travel crush. That makes it hard for airlines to rebook passengers.
About 1,100 people spent the night at the airport, including many cadets from the Air Force Academy near Colorado Springs, who either missed flights or wanted to get to the airport before road conditions deteriorated. Airport spokeswoman Alex Renteria said,
About 1,100 people spent the night at the airport, including many cadets from the Air Force Academy near Colorado Springs who either missed flights or wanted to get to the airport before road conditions deteriorated. Airport spokesman Alex Renteria said about 1,100 people spent the night at the airport, including many cadets from the Air Force Academy near Colorado Springs who either missed flights or wanted to get to the airport before the road conditions deteriorated. Airport spokeswoman Alex Renteria said, the word topple in the second paragraph means that storm was heading to south. The weather began to toppling trees. To move or make somebody move with short, quick movements from side to side or up and down, to become unsteady and fall down, to make something do this, to make somebody lose their position of power or authority. How many people died in Why some people spend the night at the airport. They wanted to get to the airport before the road conditions deteriorated. They missed flights. Southwest Airlines cancelled about 200 flights. Spokesman Brown Hawkins said it would take a couple of days to get stranded passengers on other flights because there are few during the pre-Thanksgiving travel crash. That makes it hard for airlines to rebook passengers. Strand 是滞留。The strike left hundreds of tourists stranded at the airport. Stranded at the airport, be held up. Crush 拥挤的人群 everywhere he went, he was mobbed by a crush of fans. Crush 迷恋 I do got over my child girl crush. Because there are few during the pre-Thanksgiving travel crash. Rebook 重新订票 American Airlines, United, Delta, and American Airlines are waiving fees for passengers to rebook flight to Japan for at least a week, Bloomberg reports. Cadet 警官 deteriorate weather conditions are deteriorating too. Deteriorate cadet rebook cadet 警官学员警官候补生 rebook crash strand. The storm dumped nearly 3 feet 1 meter of snow in parts of northern Colorado and closed long stretches of highways there and in Wyoming. One person was killed and 2 others were injured when a tractor trailer jackknifed and was hit by 2 other trucks on Interstate 70 near the Colorado ski town of Will. Stretch 一片一横一段 It's a very dangerous stretch of road. Jackknife 完成 V 字形 His vehicle jackknifed and crashed across all 3 lanes of the opposite carriageway. Jackknife 大折道 The snow dumped nearly 3 feet 1 meter of snow in parts of northern Colorado and closed long stretches of highways there in Wyoming. 1 person was killed and 2 others were injured when the tractor trailer jackknifed and was hit by 2 other trucks on Interstate 70 near the Colorado ski town of Will. Stretch knife at Denver International Airport about 10 inches 25 centimeters. 喂，
回来不？
回去啊。
行。
小吴还是直接叫水吃饭就行了。
俺13块钱路吧，60块钱一天，13块钱高吧得，跟他投入吧。
行，你看上说吧。
好，
好。
你大家好。
准备做饭，等睡觉头。
好的。
At Denver International Airport, about 10 inches 25 meters of snow mixed with winds that limited visibility promoted the cancellation of about 30% of the airport's average daily 1,600 flights. Cancellation 取消. Heavy seas can cause cancellation of ferry services. Outright cancellation. They opt for rescheduling rather than outright canceling. At Devon International Airport, about 10 inches 25 centimeters of snow mixed with winds that limited visibility prompted the cancellation of about 30% of airport's average daily 1,600 flights. Authorities on both sides of California-Oregon border reported numerous crashes and closed roads. The National Weather Service urged people to wait to travel for the holiday until the weather improves. The storm was heading to South Dakota, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, while a bomb cyclone weather phenomenon began toppling trees, knocking out power and dumping snow as it barreled into California and Oregon, making for a double warming of early wintering weather. Cyclone 气旋旋风 a violent tropical storm in which strong winds move in a circle. A cyclone in the Bay of Bengal. It threatened the eastern India state. Hurricane, typhoon. Cyclone, hurricane, typhoon, cyclone. Topple, 倒下倒塌 to become unsteady and fall down, to make something do this. He brushed past, toppling her from her stool. Topple, overthrow. The church was prominently involved in the struggle that toppled this dictatorship. The church was prominently involved in the struggle that toppled this dictatorship. Knock out, 摧毁是瘫痪. Our bombers have knocked out the mobile launchers. Knock out 使入睡，使不省人事，使大吃一惊，留下某人的印象。The blow knocked her out. The movie just knocked me out. Dump 丢掉，扔掉。Too much toxic waste is being dumped at sea. Dump 丢下，抛弃，推卸。与某人结束恋爱关系，倾销，抛售。He's got to right, keep dumping. His problem on me. Did you hear he's dumped his girlfriend? He's got no right to keep dumping his problem on me. Barreling to. 4 people were killed and about 40 injured when the train barreled into a bus stuck on its track Tuesday. Barrel. Beer, wine, barrel. Barrel into. Whammy, 晦气，倒霉事。Barrel into, 高速的行进，飞驰。A short warming 诅咒 With this government, we've had a double warming of tax increases and benefit cut. The storm was heading to South Dakota, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, while a bomb cyclone weather phenomenon began toppling trees, knocking out power. And dumping snows as it barreled into California and Oregon, making for a double warming of early wintry weather. 句子的主干的 storm was heading to while 表示同时发生 making 做结果状语成分。Cyclone. Heavy snow and wind shut down highways in Colorado and Wyoming, closed schools in Nebraska, and forced more than 1,000 travelers to sleep overnight in Denver's airport. About hundreds of flights were cancelled just as Thanksgiving travel moved into high gear. Into high gear 步入高潮 into 进展的如火如荼 in or into a state of great or intense activity. Fuel prices are expected to rise as the summer travel season kick movies into high gear. Heavy snow and wind shut down highways in Colorado and Wyoming, closed schools in Nebraska, and forced more than 1,000 travelers to sleep overnight in Denver Airport after hundreds of flights were cancelled just as Thanksgiving travel moved into high gear. 这句话是谓语有 shut down, close 和 force 后面 as 表示随的时间，在这里翻译就为在什么什么之际。Into high gear, into high gear. 1-2 punch. 祸不单行，雪上加霜 of storms threatens Thanksgiving travel in U.S. Two unpleasant things which happened together. The weather delivered a 1-2 punch on the gardens with unseasonal freezing temperatures and strong winds. Punch 两件相隔不久发生的事。1-2 punch of storms threaten Thanksgiving travel in U.S. Heavy snow and wind shut down highways, closed schools, and forced more than 1,000 travelers to sleep in the airport. About 10 inches of snow mixed with winds that limited visible promoted the cancellation of the flight. It would take a couple of days to get stranded passengers on their flight. Get forced more.
Heavy snow and wind shut down highways, closed schools, and forced more than 1,000 travelers to sleep in the airport.
Heavy snow and wind shut down highways, closed schools, and forced more than 1,000 travelers to sleep in the airport.
About 10 inches of snow mixed with winds that limited visibility prompted the cancellation of the flights.
About 10 inches of snow mixed with winds that limited visibility prompted the cancellation of the flight.
It would take a couple of days to get stranded passengers on other flights.
It would take a couple of days to get stranded passengers on other flights.